I'm the old bird coming to you today live. We are doing next part, the next step in making our plus size blouse summer project. Everything ready, and you're with me up to this point. So let's get started for today. Today is easy peasy. It may be new to some of you, but it's gonna be fantastic. Now, let me show you where I am. I'm in my workspace, and I hope you'll be able to see my table. There it is. Okay, everything is set up right here. Now, we have our pattern cut out. Is my pattern. You know, on the last video, we cut out our pattern pieces, and all of our pieces are cut out. We don't have any excess around our pattern pieces. And what I did was, I folded my pattern pieces back up. Not with the same fold that came open the pattern, but I folded my pieces and I put them in number order. So I have 2, 4, 5, 7, that's 8, see it, and 9. So for we have 9 pieces. Back up, I put them behind my pattern envelope, and we're going to talk about and my pattern as well. You have 2 pages instructions, and I put them in gallon bags. It's in there. As you purchase patterns and you accumulate more, be able, what is it if you put them in there like this? You may have a different process or a different way to store your patterns, but this works really. Pattern pieces in the Ziploc bag. Now, briefly, let's talk about this. I know that when you cut your pieces out, you this is preparation. These options and they gave you inside of the pack. Up here, this is in English. Here, this is in language. So I'm going to fold that in and share with you what I'm talking about. This is just simply telling patterns have an area. You can lengthen the pattern, you can shorten the pattern. Let's say you would crease skirt. If a skirt pattern, there's going to be a place pattern where you skirt shorter or long on your height or where you would like the skirt to hang. These instructions also tell you what these symbols are on. I hope you can see it. This is telling you that's the seam line on a pattern. And when we sew that 5/8 of an inch, and you that the button marking that in there a button will be placed, the X. We don't have buttons on this pattern, so it doesn't pertain to us, but I thought we would go over anyway. You see this symbol? This symbol is for a buttonhole. So if you had a pattern where you were sewing on a button and it called for a buttonhole, you would see this symbol and that now also create buttonholes and draw the transfer from your pattern to the fabric machine, place it to create the buttonhole. So this is just tips and things that were in the pattern. I'm sure you see when you cut out your pattern pieces. So that's a brief, um, just briefly showing you what these symbols mean. I'm going to keep that as well in the bag of my pattern. Now let's get started. Now, what you is you're going to start with your instructions. Let me roll up my sleeves. We have 2 pages of instructions pattern. Have each page already numbered for us. So this piece, this page, where you see the 4 different tops, on the back of that page, right here in the top corner, you'll see the pattern number, and under that page 2, and in parentheses it says 3 pages. That lets you know that the total pages of instructions for this pattern is, and this is page number 2. If you turn it back over, at the top it says the Butterick, the number of the pattern. So this is page 1 of the 3 pages. This 2 of the 3 pages. I'm going to lay that down. This is page 3. Now let me open up page 3 and show you they printed page 3. So it's going to look a little different. Instructions, I hope you can see this, ends right here on page 3. Doesn't have any printing on it. And you see on the back, no instruction in page 4. Pattern, page 1. Pattern piece out. Instruction page out of your, and open it up. Excuse me. Keep opening it up. Now, I'm going to be making on this pattern B. Maybe a little bit easier for me to handle. If you come down on your instruction page, right under the kind of like of the different tops, I'm making B. This shows you the pieces of the pattern that's in the envelope, all of the that's in the envelope. Under that, of each top, A, B, C, I'm making B. That's what this means right here. Under it gives you numbers with names. Number 1, front. 2, back. 3, sleeve, ABC. 4, sleeve, A, etc. This side is in a different language. We're going to use the English side. Now let me tell you what these mean. You see the pieces, I'm going to bring it closer. They are numbered, just like the real pattern pieces. They are numbered. Number one, this tells number one is number one front of your blouse. Number two is the back of your blouse. Number three is the sleeve, B and C. That's number three. Number four is the sleeve ruffle for A. See, A has the sleeve and a short little ruffle. The pattern piece number four for the ruffle on the A blouse. Number five. This is number five. Number five says sleeve ruffle B. B, you see the long ruffle? That's pattern piece number five. That's the way it looks. Six, sleeve front D. This is blouse D. This is the sleeve. This piece is for the front sleeve. D for blouse D. That piece is number six. That's the way that piece looks. Number seven looks like this. It is sleeve back for blouse D. So the back of this sleeve, this the pattern piece for the back. That's gonna be like I'm wearing sleeves today. I'm facing you, so this would be sleeve front, and if I turned around back here, that would be sleeve B, the back. Now that's for D. Number eight, I hope I'm in the shot. There we go. Number eight is the guide for elastic. This is the way number eight looks. Now let me tell you what the elastic is. You need a certain amount of elastic to create this top. They give you the length and the width of that actual elastic in a pattern piece. So you don't have to guess about how long to cut your elastic. They have an actual pattern piece, the exact length that you will need. It's 8. And the last piece is number 9. Number 9 is the lower front and back for A. You see up here, pattern A has this ruffle. This is the piece to create that. Number 9, the lower front and back piece creates this ruffle at the bottom of blouse A. I hope you got that, and I hope that you will play this into the pattern pieces. Now let's go forward, because this assignment is going to last you a couple of days so you can get your blouse cut out, and the next video we will be ready. Now on this instruction sheet, let's go down to top A. You see that? Top A. Now let me tell you us. This is showing us our fabric at 45 inches wide. How to lay our pattern pieces to cut it out. Now, if you're making pattern B with me, open out the instructions. Top. This is actually showing us how to lay our pattern pieces to cut out our blouse. Now let's go to the fabric. I don't know if you have a table or what you have to cut your um, pattern out on, but this is my cutting table right here. Usually my sewing machine is over here and my Cricut is over here. When I take all of that off, I have a nice cutting table. Let me move my pattern. Here's my fabric. And, oh, I'm sorry. I folded my fabric back like it was when I purchased it after we, and I had a warm iron and slightly ironed it because my fabric is cotton and it wrinkles. Now you're going to open out your fabric, and your fabric we had in another video is going to have a fold line, and it's going to have a salvage line. The salvage line is the edge that opens up. This is called the salvage. This side of your fabric, you see that? When it's folded, have that line in your fabric from the fold. That's called the fold line. So we're gonna go, wait a minute. My telephone is telling me my battery is low. There we go. Let me hurry. Lay out your fabric with your fold facing you. And if you have any questions at all, just ask me. Now my fabric is cotton and it wrinkles. But just lay your fabric, whatever type that you chose, in the recommended fabric section. Lay your fabric down as well on your cutting table or surface. Now my sister uses her dining room table as a pad that she puts on the dining and cuts out her patterns. My mom used to use her bed, and she would lay her fabric out and cut out her pattern. So whatever you have, use it. It's okay. Now here we go. I'm going to put this page 2 in my Ziploc bag. We're not going to use that today. Now I'm making B. Let me fold this where I can see B. And you fold your instructions to see the blouse that you're going to be making. If you make along with me, let's go. Let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to lay out our pattern pieces. They have them laid out. on here. Oh, let me go back over here. Let me share this with you. For B, pieces that we need. Letter B down here beside what it is, pieces as well as the front and the back. The front of the blouse, we need the back of the blouse. Scroll down, we need 5, the sleeve ruffle. We need for the sleeve. I skipped over there. 2, 3, and number 5 for blouse B. Piece 2, 3, because it has B, and number 5 is the letter B. That's for the B blouse pieces. Now you know I told you that when I put my pieces in, I put numerical order, and that's why. So I can pick it out. I need piece number 2, piece number 3, 5. So I'm gonna these pieces back in my Ziploc bag, because right now I don't need them, and they'll be stored all nice and neatly in the bag. Now, back to our instructions. I know you didn't know all of this was involved, but it's fun. This is showing how to lay out our pattern pieces. Now, as you see, it has 1 and 2 folded edge. Let me show. Open up pattern number 2 for they have pattern 2 to lay out my entire pattern. You take your instructions and you see which way is best going by sheet. Make certain it's opened out from where you had it folded, and you may want to piece, and it will lay out on one. I'm blowing now. This is pattern piece number 2. Now let me show it to you, what's written on it. You see the back on fold. Let me turn it this symbol. That means this area needs to go on this folded edge right here. So now that is on the edge. There we go. You see, this is the folded edge of your fabric. That is the salvage edge. So the pattern is telling you on the pattern, put this line on the fold. Now, you should have your pins. This is my sewing box, my real sewing box that I use. I have several different types of pins. I have these, as I shared with you, that has, and I have these with the little glass beaded tops. Whatever, just for your project, get your pins. And we're gonna pin this piece onto our, now I hope I don't get in the way. And I'm choose as many pins as your pattern to your fabric. I'm getting 3 pins out just to start, to give you an idea of how to pin it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to pin it here at the top. And there's no right or ends. You can't. There we go. Okay. Pin here in the end. And I put a pin in the center. Now make sure that when you pin your onto your fabric, that you're not too far down, because like I have the fan on and the pattern piece was blowing around. You don't want to put your pin maybe down here, up or blow up. Close to the line that's going to become your cutting line. Pin your entire piece. Now I'm not going to go through. Let me bring the camera. I'm going to go through pinning this entire piece to the fabric. I'm started. This is your assignment to each piece. Now I'm going to show you where, and then video until the next time, and make certain that it's in the shot. You can't see. Let me come down some more and bring my camera up closer. There we go. Now let me get my scissors. You should have your scissors. Now let me show you what scissors I'm using. You remember I shared with you I'm on this side of the camera now. This line, this blue line, that's what you call your cutting. You're not gonna cut that line. You're gonna cut right above that line, and I'm cutting a little excess pattern that I left on. Cut right above that, right there. Now let me come back over to the other, you were able to see that. Yes, you were able to see it. Let me back the camera. You see how neat that is? Right on that line. This is the piece. Now you're gonna cut out your ends. You're gonna all of the pieces of your pattern, so that when we come back on the next video, ready to sew, you can do it. It's not that difficult. I'm here for you. Questions, just ask the old bird. Feed, or put them in the comments. I'll read them and I'll get back with you. Or I'll create a video just for you so you can see the answer to your question. This is going to be a lot of fun. Back, we'll have all of our pieces cut out. We'll have everything ready to sew. Now, when we come back, you'll need your sewing machine, you'll need your thread, and I'm going to take you through winding your bobbins and having your bobbin ready and installing your bobbin and threading your machine. Now look, my machine will not thread exactly like your machine. So you'll need to know how to thread your machine and where your bobbin goes. But we together will be able to install our bobbin. So I'll get back with you soon. Because for the best, it's just handmade. Bye bye. Oh, no, it's not closing out. Let's see. I keep forgetting. How to close out. Take the phone down. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Every time. I'm sorry. Oh man. Let's see. I tell you. How do I end? Uh, Robert, I can't get it to go off.